perspective, this is The Stand with your host, Shane Williams, Lance Dobbs, and George Porter.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Shane Williams along with George and Lance on this 30th of May, 2017.
Lance Dobbs and George Porter.
Wow. Starting already. Anyways, thank you for joining us on this late night. We're just trying to get the rest of our equipment going. Just trying to get everything prepared for tonight's show. That's why we started a little bit late. But here we are nonetheless. It just, I don't know. There's a lot of things going on. It's just
it's been a rough night.
It's been a rough night. It's been long. Just trying to get all this stuff together, like I've been saying. But tonight we're going to be covering a slew of news, like we always do, and a lot of things that we didn't cover from last week's show because of technical difficulties. But that's all right. I think we finally got them ironed out this week. And hopefully what you're seeing is, good to go. So without further ado, we'll talk about the budgets from last week and then also Trump's trip to Saudi Arabia. A couple of my thoughts that I have on it and sort of things that I didn't agree with as far as that goes. Maybe some input from George and Lance as well.
I have my opinions on the whole thing.
Right. So we'll start off with the budget, Lance.
Well, I was going to say a little bit of what I want, or
Oh,
what
yeah.
we're going to talk about.
Well, until we get after. So what you think? What was your thoughts on the budget? Go ahead and break that down for everybody.
So Trump's budget, we briefly talked about it last week.
Right.
He did have one come out like a month or two ago, but of course that one didn't get passed. This one again was another shoot high and try to negotiate down to where he wanted. So he knew that this wasn't going to go anywhere, but that's how you got to negotiate with people that don't want to negotiate with you.
Well, the Democrats were, no matter what he came out with, they were going to scream that it was going to kill grandma and push babies off of cliffs or whatever their game plan is. They wouldn't have liked it no matter what.
Right.
So like some of the things was like he wanted to cut like 25% of Medicaid, wanted to cut like 40% of like all the food stamps.
Well, before we go any further, one thing, he didn't want to cut them. See, that's the word they use. He wanted to reduce the planned increases.
Right.
So they have this thing where they want a certain percentage of increase in the budget on these items every year. And let's say they want 10% increase every year. He's just saying, how about we do 4? And only in Washington do they see a reduction in spending or planned increases as a cut. It's not really a cut. They're still getting more than they're getting this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just the verbiage that they want to use and to deceive the American people like they have been doing for years. And it's unfortunate thing because here's somebody trying to actually help the American people, help the population of America, and yet again they get undermined by these anti-American scum. Really, that's what I really view them as.
It's just a big political game that the Democrats play. It's all about optics and the way they word it for the optimum effect against their opponents. I mean, the budget, it looks drastic on the surface, but when it gets right down to it, we do need cuts. We cannot keep spending.
I mean, we're almost at $20 trillion in debt.
I think we probably surpassed
or probably surpassed it. Yeah.
I don't look at it anymore because it's just so depressing. But I mean, what are some of the other things he wanted to reduce the spending of?
Well, he wanted to increase the military, but he wants to also close bases in other countries.
No, that's
where we don't need our military anymore.
Right. I think Germany, really, we don't need ourselves there anymore.
His request to close bases wouldn't occur until 2021. Of course, he wants a bigger proposed military budget. He wants to add more ships, planes, and more troops, but lawmakers don't want to help him out with that. Let's see. The last thing the military needs right now is a BRAC, if you've ever heard of a BRAC.
No.
BRAC. And this was coming from Senator Lindsey Graham.
Oh,
Sure,
I don't know what that is.
A BRAC was created so the decision of which bases to close is taken out of Congress's hands.
Oh, that's, yeah, I don't know, I didn't know by that name, but basically what they did in years past, through Reagan and Bush or anybody who wanted to reduce the bases in our country, it caused a huge fight amongst the state representatives in Congress because none of them wanted to lose their base. But they all want one because it's money.
Yes.
It's almost pork to them. So they would come in and say, okay, we're going to close this base in this county, and I'm just picking the state out of a hat, in northern Georgia. Well, the people in northern Georgia who rely on that base for their economy, for everything from furniture stores to the local market,
yeah, exactly.
would scream bloody murder. And this I didn't know by this name, but they had come up with a system to do it more fairly, because you can't. I mean, a lot of civilians rely on that surrounding economy from a base,
well, exactly.
or a post or whatever, or a fort.
Jobs are affected, like you said, housing, the food markets, even places like Burger King, McDonald's, or whatever, all affected by this.
Yeah, if you have a small market outside the front gate of a fort or an air base,
right?
You're making bank, because nobody eats junk food like soldiers.
Well, that, and then also if you have an embroidery shop, because there's always things need to be purchased, name tags and etc.
They buy cars, they have disposable income. It can be detrimental to the local economy. So, but it has to be done. Someone has to take the hit somewhere. Turn that base into a water park. I don't know, whatever they got to do, but if they're going to close them, they got to do it fairly.
Right.
So, if you go to CNN and read what they thought of the budget, the first paragraph from there is the budget introduced last week by the Trump administration constitutes nothing less than a massive transfer of wealth from working families, the elderly, children, the sick, and the poor to the top 1%.
But they never explain how.
Exactly. Well,
how does it go to the 1%?
They say it follows in the footsteps of the Trump-Ryan health care bill, which gives massive tax breaks to the people on top,
those poor people,
while throwing 24 million Americans off their health insurance and dramatically raising premiums for
Okay,
workers.
that's the other thing. They never say that 24 million. They say 24 million Americans will lose their insurance in the next decade with this current plan. Okay, in 10 years. Okay,
There could be other changes.
If they just add a little free market in there, those people can find insurance elsewhere.
Right.
They're just saying as it stands alone, and this is from the CBO, which I don't trust.
Mm-hmm.
They are not nonpartisan. I mean, they've never come out and said a bad word about a Democrat thing, but every Republican proposal is treated as if it's acid. But no, that's 24 million people over 10 years. That's that's where they leave out the little words, or they exaggerate the words they use.
They don't exaggerate. They just keep it out of their mouths.
Well, I mean, they craft their words in such a way that they're not completely lying, but they're not telling the whole truth. It's 24 million over the next 10 years.
So, and then they go on to say that this is the budget that says that if you are the richest family in America, you will get a multi-billion-dollar tax break. Multi-billion from rich people.
Well, I'd heard a rumor, and I've never been able to substantiate it, but that there are several laws on the books in the tax code that are designed specifically for the Kennedys, that only the Kennedys get the use of these tax codes. Like I said, I heard this from a tax attorney. I've never been able to substantiate, but he claimed that the Kennedys have rules that they wrote that were put on the books just for them. And so for the younger crowd, may not know who some of the Kennedys are, but that was a very prominent Democratic family that to this day is still out there.
Wealthy.
Oh, beyond. These people crafted the term, we live on a compound.
Yeah, they did.
Then they go on, another thing that Trump proposed with this was to cut 140, or You don't like the word cut, but this is all that the news uses is cuts.
Yeah, well,
cuts,
you can
and
call it a
cuts.
cut because we know the difference.
He wants to cut 143 billion in student financial assistance programs.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Well, CNN says, but if you're a working class student trying to figure out how you could possibly afford college, your dream of college education could evaporate.
What is evaporated is their free time.
Yeah,
you want to go to
exactly.
college? Do it like people who have managed before. Go get a job.
But your dreams are evaporating.
Well, I wasn't able to afford college. Guess what? My dreams evaporated. I did okay.
Like,
Sorta.
Sort of.
This
Depends
whole-
on who you ask.
this whole CNN article is
Well,
just,
it's all about. I mean, it's full of violins. It's full of death and destruction. And
and the next line is pretty good too. This is a budget which offers you tax breaks if you are a member of the Trump family.
hey, nobody else. Well, then what are they worried about? Then we're all the same except the Trump family. I mean, how many people in the Trump family are going to college? Barron's 10. Everyone else is an adult.
Unless Barron's going to college we don't know about, I don't know.
I mean,
Barron
So-
being his youngest child, by the way.
Yeah, and the rest of his children are
Grown.
already in charge of.
Running his...
They're already running
companies,
businesses. They
president,
were
right.
got degrees. Yeah,
So,
well,
and
I
then-
don't think they go to public universities anyway.
I don't think so either.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. They pay. They get. I mean, I'm pretty sure their dad pays for wherever they want to go.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, so it's again, it's all about they craft their words like sick magic spells to tell you what they want you to hear.
So,
It's never really.
and
real.
a big thing about this budget was one of Obama's first budgets was $1 trillion budget.
Yeah.
No, Obama never even submitted a budget. He did a couple proposals, but he's never
Trillion.
submitted a
$1
budget.
trillion like proposals or whatever
Yeah.
that he did the first couple years he was in. Well, this first one that he wants is, let's see, he wants to, let's be clear about something. He wants to do like a $1 trillion cut over the next decade of spending. So he's like the total opposite way.
Right, exactly.
Trillion in cutting and not $1 trillion in spending.
Well, what they make them do is they're like, well, if you're going to cut $1 trillion, where are you going to get it from? Because
Yeah.
they still want the money.
And then he said he's cutting 146 billion in the financial aid, cutting the food stamps or lessening the food stamps money, lessening Social Security, so it's not paying out so many people that are just sitting at home and not working.
Well, there was some talk, and I haven't read the budget, so I'm only speaking from what I've heard on the news, that welfare recipients were going to it was limited and they would have to find work. Well, wasn't that the whole idea in the first place?
Well, who knows? You know, everything's get twisted as time goes on, so for their own personal agendas.
So yeah, one of the big, I think the biggest cut was in Medicaid, and it's an $800 billion reduction.
Yeah,
in
people
Medicaid.
going to die, fall off the face of the earth, disappear, might as well turn to dust, etc., etc. But anyways, the reason why I would start off with the budget is because it is a big thing. You know, obviously the Democrats are going to try to shoot him down, and with the quote-unquote
they
Republicans.
They do have the help of McCain and a couple of his
Right,
followers.
exactly.
You mean
Yeah.
the Democratic Party member McCain?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
he's recruiting the other on the side or such. I don't know how you call it, on the fence of Republican.
He's not on the
Democrat.
fence.
Well, yeah, I see. He's trying to get the
Yeah.
ones who haven't decided yet on his team, which
Yeah.
is the Democratic
Other
side.
side.
Yeah, if I lived in Arizona, I think I would probably have to start
Not voting for him.
some kind of drive because the
Just
man is
somebody
not a
else.
Republican. He never really has been. I
Right.
mean, when we put him up as our choice for president, he really was just.
Well,
I mean,
that
it
was
just
a farce. That was a farce.
flaccid waste of time.
Yeah.
He has no enthusiasm. It's like watching paint dry.
It's horrible.
You know, when Obama ran, I give the guy credit. When he came out on stage, man, it was a production, right? I mean,
was.
you know, McCain comes out, it's just.
Even when he cried, that was a production too.
I mean,
that was pretty high.
McCain, when he was running for president, was just an absolute waste of
Right, Bear.
time.
Anyway, switching gears, talk about President Trump's trip to Saudi Arabia. Just real quick, I don't think he ever should have went to Saudi Arabia, knowing that they were behind 9/11, as per the documents behind the whole thing.
As president,
As president, you have to be diplomatic, but at the same time, I mean, the proof is there. I mean, they did it. How come we're not holding them accountable? How come we're not putting their feet to the fire, etc.? You know.
Well, were the hijackers? Was it proven that anything beyond that they were just Saudi Arabians? That they were Saudis? Did they actually?
It was like 12 out of 14 of them, or something like that.
12 out of 14.
But were they actually tied to the government, or was it just Saudis? It's like just. I mean, I don't know.
You'll never know that fact.
But I mean, we can't blame an entire country for 14 people. That's what the left is doing to us. Some guy goes into a church and shoots 9 people, and we're tearing down statues 2 years later.
Right.
Yeah, it's everybody's fault. So I mean, do I have any love for the Saudis? No. I think the Saudis are playing a Game of Thrones style game where they're just
with their oil.
Well, between the oil and the fact that they use the Palestinians they're like, hate the Jews so you won't hate us.
Right.
Because let's face it, they live better than anybody on this planet, and if their people that lived under them had a clue how well they lived, they'd be upset. But they don't seem to care because they're busy hating somebody else. It's just a little misdirection.
No, I understand. We got, he's done phenomenal work over there. Besides the thing, but I think there should have been some repercussion or something to come out of it instead of just going over there and everything's fine, nothing happened here.
Well, what are we going to do? Are we going to be mad at the Saudis? Guess what?
We're going to go war with you.
Yeah, we got all our fuel from them.
All right, but anyways, that was my little thing. I just wanted to get off my chest to sort of, the whole trip overall was a success.
It has been criticized by the media the entire time.
Yeah. So. Well, let's face it. He did go to 3 of the major. Capitals of three capitals of the major religions on the planet as a first foreign policy trip. I mean, I think he hit it out of the park because let's face it, he went and made nice with the Muslims. He went and made nice with the Pope,
the Jews,
and the Israelis. And if anybody needed to mend a fence with a country, it was us with the Israelis because the last 8 years, Obama just. I hate to say he spent 8 years crapping on Israel and treating them like dirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Trump needed to go there and reassure them. And you can't go see the Israelis and it'll offend the Muslims. And he just did the whole thing. He did the whole circuit. It's the only way he could have done it. And like I said, I think it was a smart move on his part.
Absolutely.
And I think it'll probably bear fruit.
What about the climate summit that he went to also while he was over there?
Well, that I think he just wanted to spend time in Europe because it's I don't know I hope he says no to Paris.
He went to meet Merkel, so
yeah, and but no, the climate thing. I hope he backs out of it and he says no because there is some rumor that he's not going to sign on.
Well, he already said no to it.
He did say no to it.
Yeah, because the whole climate change is a farce.
And then
that they're trying to push.
And then Merkel came out and was like, "Well, U.S. is not our ally."
Well, U.S. and
no,
UK.
she's just mad because he basically told them, "You guys got to either start paying up or look to yourself for your own defense." Because we fund a lot of their protections. So I mean, Germany. I mean, this whole thing has made Germany kind of the center of attention. And we really don't want Germany to be in charge of the European Union or be the leader of it, because look how that turned out in the last century.
Right, exactly.
So, but let them see what it's like to look over that fence at the Russians by themselves. Maybe they will reach down and grab their bootstraps and spend some money on their defense instead of looking to us like they have for the last 70 years.
If you just look what's happening in Europe, there's like a terror attack every other week.
Well,
except where? Where's the one place they haven't had too many, if any at all? Poland.
Yeah.
Poland has been terrorist-free. There was a couple other states, but but Poland also pays all of their because you have to pay 2% of your GDP on your defense through NATO.
Yep.
The only 3 countries that do it, and I can't remember all 3, but it was Poland, Estonia, and like Latvia. These countries are the only ones that pony up all the money, and they're also the ones that seem to be the safest places to live.
in
Go figure.
In Europe. Yeah, but like I said, his trip overall was a success and everything else. But when we get back after this break, we're going to break down more information. We got stuff, congressmen going at it. We also got Memorial Day
speeches on Congress,
right.
Speeches at the colleges, and
it's mayhem.
We got Kathy Griffin with her
mayor,
with her ISIS photo, pretty much, and much more. So when we come back from break, we'll come back more focused and start hitting this news pretty hard.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Shane Williams and Stan. George Washington once said, "Government, like fire, is our most useful servant if fully controlled by us, the citizens. And government, exactly like fire, becomes our most destructive master if not fully controlled by its working citizens." This is Shane Williams with Stan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back from the break. And so we'll start getting to the congressman. Actually, you know what? Let's get into Kathy Griffin first, because that's
brand new news. Let's be ahead of the curve for once.
Because honestly,
this is brand new as well. This happened today.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we need to cover, but I think Kathy Griffin, we should make her famous again. I mean, because she's really a choice words for her. But anyways, she's going by way of ISIS pretty much, without the whole flag in the back, the whole garb and everything else. Just outright. I mean, she should be in jail right now. Despite her apology and everything else that she just gave moments ago. This is just. I don't.
I've seen the photo. I've seen the photo. I've seen it on
horrible, man.
Pixelated and all that. I only have one question: how are we supposed to tell which ugly decapitated head is which? Because as far as I could tell, they both look like the same. We got the freak holding up a decapitated head. I mean, they look very similar, actually.
Right.
So I remember back when she was funny.
She was funny, and I used to watch her as well. But now she's took it to a whole nother level.
But I really hope the Secret Service, show up at her house and give her a stern talking to and put the fear of God into her. Because if anybody else did that about any other president, they would have been hooked up, hauled off, and thrown in jail so fast.
Imagine one
that
of us.
Decapitated head would have spun.
Imagine one of us doing. Say we're a lot more famous, but say one of us did that as a comedian on her level. Do you think that we even still be around to even give an apology, or do you think we might be in jail right then and there if it was, say, Obama or Clinton or anybody else, especially Hillary Clinton? Do you think?
Well, first off, if a conservative person or a non-liberal would have tried that photo shoot, no photographer would have done it, because even the densest person would have realized that's just a losing situation. But since they're all part of the liberal mindset out of Hollywood, it's all good. Either that or they just don't think. I don't know whether they feel invulnerable or they're not smart.
I don't know. But it's just really, it was really aggravating to see. It could have been anybody else. But just the fact that it was our own president and she had the head all bloody and everything else, and then TMZ had the whole behind the scenes look at it.
They caught him on video discussing the ramifications of it, and she plainly said, and I believe she said, we're going to be in jail for this, we're going to have to go to Mexico. So they knew ahead of time they were going to be stirring the pot and causing controversy and an uproar. It's all a giant publicity stunt. She's done it because she hasn't been on TV lately.
Yeah, right.
Her career's probably failing some more. I mean, she made a whole career off being a D-list celebrity. Now she really is a D-list celebrity, so she wanted to get back in the spotlight. And now everybody today is talking about her, and we really shouldn't be, because she's such a head.
She got a tweet from Trump.
Oh, this should be I'm lay it on me.
He responded to it.
Oh, of course he was going to. I don't know why we didn't think he.
He responds to everything. So
right.
He said, "Disgusting, but not surprising. This is the left today. They consider this acceptable. Imagine a conservative who did this to Obama as POTUS."
Absolutely.
Exactly.
What we just said.
Well, at least he understands what's going on.
And then he does a link to Drudge.
Ooh. Ooh.
So after Drudge reports the story where she's holding Trump's face as it's like bleeding and everything.
But like I said, if you look at the picture, you really can't tell which one is the big, ugly, decapitated mug. So hers are the one she's holding.
But she got a comment out of the president from it.
I guess I think that's probably the whole purpose of this whole stunt. Really, I think it was the purpose of the stunt from the beginning.
Well, yeah, just to get her back in the limelight. Really,
well, like I said,
He didn't
everybody's
say her
talking
name
about
or
her.
anything.
No, but everybody's talking about her today. Now they'll talk about her tomorrow, and then she's back to obscurity.
Yeah,
But she's now like the rest of us. The best she can hope for is 15 minutes of fame.
I'm about to say the same thing. But it's just really sad to see that someone will go this far to try to get back into a limelight. You know, she could do so many other jobs, even charity work, even something other than going to this extreme to try to quote fit in with the whole left and everything. Because it's really you see it all over the place. I mean, it's really weird to see all these famous people to really just go anti-American, really, in the last couple of months. You know, people that, you know, I looked up even to, like Bill Nye. You start seeing him talk about how there's multiple genders, when back in the day he was only two genders.
Well, they like to claim they've become smarter and they've learned new things since then.
Yeah, but
back to the Kathy Griffith thing. I think I have a better career for her than the one she's doing now. I think she should really investigate the world of shoe modeling. That way we don't actually have to look at her anymore. She could model shoes, still be kind of in show business, and we won't have to look at that frightful mug anymore.
No, I think she just needs to disappear.
Yeah.
No, I think it's perfect.
Not in a bad way, you know. Just hey, you outlived your limelight, your star or whatever. Just disappear, man. It's okay. It's done before.
Lots of people in Hollywood
do it. You know, it's just go away.
Some of her tweets were after she did it is never funny to joke about killing a president.
But they do it all the time.
Right. And this isn't the first time. Yeah. You have Snoop Dogg doing it music video. You have there's one other incident where they showed the president dying. You have obviously the effigies of multiple Donald Trump's
on fire
or the one where he has a small penis statue. It's just you know, I can only imagine if they would have showed Obama in any of these situations, or even Clinton or anybody else to that matter.
When you compare it to Obama, we weren't even allowed to criticize his policies without being called racist. Could you imagine if we did something this magnitude?
It's really disgusting.
Or even close? Yeah, the double standard, and like I've always said, if it wasn't for double standards, liberals wouldn't have any standards at all. Because they live in what we see on the...
Well, it's fantasy land.
Well, what we see on the campuses where they believe it is okay to assault conservatives because a conservative's speech is considered a physical attack, and they are defending themselves.
We'll get into that.
Yes, but I mean, it's this all-encompassing, weird kind of, I don't know, it's like a make-believe land where it's bizarro world. It
really is. Everything's upside down.
What things that used to apply don't apply anymore. They've just decided that our words are, they can punch us because our words are an attack.
Yes. Right.
And they consider attacking us self-defense. That's how crazy it's become, and I blame some of the school district.
We'll get into the next article.
Yeah. It's tough because it is all kind of, it's weird because it's all kind of linked together.
And
if you follow this chain of insanity, it's going to lead. We all know where this is going.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. We're getting
ahead of ourselves.
I know, but you know, finishing up on the Griffin, whatever her name is, her apology. Which sucked, by the way. You know, I'm so sorry. I didn't know this was going to happen. You show a picture of, you know, decapitating the president. I could read
what her apology was.
Yes, but see, the little video that they had prior of them talking about they knew this was going to cause a stir makes her apology null and void. It means makes it meaningless.
This is
go and read her apology.
we have to move to Mexico today. She's talking to Shields.
Okay, so
This is the TMZ transcript from the TMZ video.
Because, this is their behind the scenes. They're like, we have to move to Mexico today, but we're going to go to prison. Federal prison. We're not surviving this, okay?
So they knew ahead of time that this was what it was. They basically said, "I've got a bomb here. I'm lighting a fuse."
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Well, let's see what happens. So she knew. She was well aware that this was going to explode.
And absolutely, she needs to go to prison for this.
And so afterwards, she says, obviously, I do not condone any violence by my fans or others to anyone, ever.
But if any happens, it's on her head.
And then she said, I'm merely mocking the mocker-in-chief.
Okay, she still keeps going on. Yeah, I think she just needs to go away. Like you said, Secret Service needs to definitely pay her a visit, just like they did to Madonna and Ashley Judd during the Women's March. When when Madonna openly saying, "I've been thinking about blowing up the White House for a long time." It's like, what's wrong with you? You come from big stardom and everything, and now it's just.
She did get the attention of CNN. They might not be putting her on for their New Year's show, they said.
Good. I don't blame them.
Well, it's the very least they could do. But you know what? That's months from now. Let's see how that how that pans out.
All right, so we're winding down to almost another break. When we come back, we're going to be covering the two congressmen. What else we had for the agenda? We had the congressman. We also talked about Trump's Memorial Day.
The Portland mayor and also the Evergreen College.
Right, exactly. And then also we have an announcement that we also want to put out there as well. So when we come back from break, we'll have all that hard-hitting news.
So we're going to go ahead and start off with what happened in Texas today on the House floor there.
Right.
Pretty chaotic.
I think it was pretty epic at the same time.
It's.
Let me go ahead and give out the name first.
Tell everybody what happened that might not know, and then we'll comment on the insanity of it all.
Well, exactly, because there's so much news about Trump and everything else going on that they want to ignore really what's happening, everything else.
Like this is happening in
exactly.
courthouses.
But who cares? Because Kushner might be colluding with the Russians for wanting a open back channel and stuff like that, right? I mean, that's the hottest news right now, you know.
And then you just had Vladimir came out and he's like, yeah, I talked with Macron. Yeah, we told each other everything.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's world leaders talking to each other. So the two Texas representatives, they were both state representatives of Texas. We have Pancho Navarez and Matt Rinaldi. One of them was the Republican and one of them was Democrat. The Republican was Matt Rinaldi and the Democrat was Pancho Navarez.
Right.
So there was a protest going on outside with illegal immigrants and they were holding up signs that said, "I am illegal and I'm here to stay."
Right. An organized protest by illegal immigrants at the courthouse.
At the courthouse.
Okay, just want to be clear about that.
Yes.
So, the Republican representative, Matt Rinaldi, he was on the floor talking, and he told everybody that he called ICE on the protesters outside.
Which is perfectly within his right, because if they are illegal aliens and they're
Holding signs.
and they're holding signs that state that, and even if they got permits, I'm sure they're. I mean, it's well within his right. I mean, it's still the phrase "illegal alien" is still appropriate. I know there's some good people out there, but they're still illegal aliens in this country against the law. Now,
And folks, not just Hispanics. I'm tired of hearing that from everybody. It's just, oh man, it's such an attack on Hispanics or South Americans and stuff like that. Look, Eastern Europeans are over here by the boatloads. You have Chinese women over here giving birth, so they become American citizens instantaneous. You have a lot of things going on who are not really. It's not about all Hispanics, as much as people want it out to be. And we have to drive that point home, because it's not like.
Well, it's because anytime you say illegal immigrants, anybody
That's
thinks it's a Mexican.
well,
exactly.
Unfortunately, and I hate to say it, it has become a stereotype.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are thousands of Asians that flood in through Canada, through Seattle, Los Angeles.
This just happened to be the stereotype.
Yes, I mean because we're attached to Mexico by our border
land.
Right.
by land. That's where everybody
It's the
gravitates.
easiest way to get over.
Yeah, and it's an
Otherwise,
easy
you gotta
assumption
come
to
from
make.
Canada or sail across the ocean
Yeah,
or fly
and what
over.
makes it a little bit tougher.
Exactly.
But yes, everybody just assumes we're talking about Hispanic, and that makes it a racial thing. They forget this is about illegal immigration, not about illegal Hispanics.
Right, exactly, and it's just I want to make that point clear to everybody, and so everybody that is watching, they can then educate everybody else in saying, hey, look, it's just more than just Hispanics coming across the border. So go on with the thing. It just happens to be in this case that
Texas.
it's
It
in
is
Texas.
Hispanic.
It's the majority of the population there is Hispanics. Go figure. But
So,
anyways, continuing
let me
on.
continue. So when Representative Rinaldi reported that he had enough of the disturbance and contacted the ICE agents, this is when he went up and advised the House floor. So he went to the front,
Right.
talked on to the mic in front of everybody at the House. If you don't know what the House is, the House of Representatives is the other half of the senators. So there's the House of
The other
Reps.
half of Congress.
Yeah, so it's half the Congress House, but this is just, there's multiple congressmen in every state. I think there's like
It's
a total of
house.
400.
It's state government.
So, but they still are federal. I mean, they belong to the state, but they're federal.
I thought it was at the state courthouse.
This is at the state courthouse.
Okay.
So when he advised them that ICE agents had been contacted, Navarez, the Democratic
The Democrat,
senator,
the lib. Let's just call him what he is,
apparently lost control of his faculties
as they usually do,
and began assaulting him,
as they have done in the past.
to the point that other legislators had to step in and break the fight.
Right, and it's just the theme, with these scumbags. If they can't get their way, or they can't get their point across, or anything else, they resort to violence. Instead of trying to use their thoughts and their mental capacity, they resort to the animalistic, barbaric ways of everything else.
Let me keep going. All right, so Navarez then directly threatened violence against Rinaldi because he called ICE on the illegal immigrants.
Right.
Reports claim that not only did Navarez...
Well, he should be arrested for harboring illegals then.
Well, he assaulted another dude.
Well, on top
That's
of that,
a
it should
crime
be
in
another
itself.
charge. Yeah.
Not only did he threaten Rinaldi's life, but indicated that he would wait for Rinaldi to leave the legislature and would wait for him at his car.
Well, that's a threat if I ever heard
Well,
one.
that's pretty brave words for a liberal, actually.
So Rinaldi, who is...
Well, he's protected. That's why he's, I got my bodyguards against your bodyguards.
Rinaldi, who is a concealed handgun license, responded by saying, that he would shoot him in self-defense if forced to, and reportedly said that he would put a bullet in the head of Navarez if he confronted him at his car.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure Texas has got the castle law and the stand your ground law. So, I've always said an armed society is a polite society. So, yes, the man with the gun gets treated with manners.
Yeah.
And the man
I don't want to
gun,
get shot.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, go ahead. If you want to confront the guy, just realize that not everybody is as anti-gun as the liberals are.
Yeah, exactly. Or plays nice as everybody else.
But this to me illustrates a breakdown. This is
Absolutely.
like some third world nation having an argument over something in their courthouse. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
It's
but
a
these
terrible
are
trend.
congressmen doing
This
this.
is a terrible trend.
It doesn't matter.
That's
It
started.
doesn't matter anymore.
Well, it's the breakdown of civility.
Yeah, absolutely. And this actually is going to foreshadow possibly
So
what's going to happen in the future. You know,
Will
out
that
in the streets.
congressman lose his job for this?
Well,
The
okay,
liberal
right.
won't. The liberal won't lose his job because the other liberals will stand beside him and will not vote him out. The Republican might because the other Republicans won't probably stand beside their colleague and help him.
Rinaldi, he went on Facebook and blasted the other guy.
Okay, that's perfectly legal.
Perfectly legal.
Freedom of speech, we get it too.
Let's see. But let's see. Supporters of an undocumented illegal immigration will no doubt applaud the threats made by Poncho. Blah blah blah. This only question now is how long. Just the article ends and how long until the shooting starts.
Well,
I honestly, this is a question that I have talked about with friends.
Everybody, I mean, it's going around. You can see it building.
you can feel the tension in the air.
We've all agreed
It's
that
getting
if
to the
things
higher
don't
courts.
change, there is going to be gunplay on a massive level.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the anarchists are out in the streets breaking windows without
hitting people in the head with locks.
the bike lock video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're out rioting without repercussions. They claim that our existence is such an affront to them that attacking us is self-defense.
Well, and then also the BLM thing, the protests that turn into riots every time. You just had someone come out and say that they're going to support lawyers for these guys to get them back out of jail.
Right.
George Soros said he would pay for their legal fees. My question, and when we talked about this earlier, I posed, who's going to pay for their medical bills? That's the real question, because if they're not careful, they're going to have some.
You, the American
Taxpayers.
citizen, the taxpayer.
Because it probably won't be on insurance.
Well, no, they're not. There's no Obamacare for them now.
Well, kinda. It's still somewhat there for now until.
Well, you see what that's why they want
Gets passed.
Obamacare.
Well, yeah. Go on and do whatever you want, and
So
then
they
get free medical.
so that when they get beat up by
Other-
patriotic Americans because of their Marxist anarchy that they're trying to spread, they'll go get their free medical care.
Right. Exactly. So
It's all a quickly, well-crafted plan on their part. Actually.
Exactly. So, like I said earlier, this is a foreshadow of what's to come. I mean, if it's happening inside courthouses and everything else, we're already starting to see it on the streets. It's only going to be a bigger plague come, not even a couple months from now. I think it's going to explode into something a lot more, where it's probably going to be gunfire on the streets, where it's actually going to be a divide in America, just like the Civil War. But this time, it's about policies and views, and this has really gone out of hand because of it. You know. It's just a really sad thing to see, but at the same time, I'm not going to stand by and just have them run over me. No, this is a rally for all patriots who are listening to the broadcast. We need to start standing up for ourselves, start rallying together. Like George says, conservatives like to stand alone. It's now time to stand together. Ben Franklin said so beautifully. You know, we all hang separately, or all hang together. You know, and it's really time to start coming together. I don't know how to express it enough. Those who are watching, you know, we do appreciate everything, and stay tuned for much more, because as time goes on, we're probably going to see a lot of crazy stuff happening. Just like what's coming up on June 14th. You want to post that graphic up, Ian, for people to see. Now this is going to be off the Antifa Facebook page. Which I stumbled across a couple weeks ago.
Is it called Antifa or just anti-fa?
Antifa. I don't know how else.
I mean, because
to pronounce
it's just a
it.
short.
It's a made-up word, so we guess we get to pronounce it any way we feel
It's
comfortable
just
with.
short for anti-fascist.
Yeah.
But they're the fascists.
They're the fascists.
That's the part that makes me crazy.
So
They're
as
the
people
fascists.
So as people can see the graphic up on the television or whatever, keep it's going to be. We are live broadcast. It's pretty crazy to say that. But anyways, if you saw the graphic, June 14th. June 14th is actually going to be the date.
Of the Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
A Wednesday, June 14th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Grant Sawyer Building here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And this is a rally for all patriots, for all people who.
No, wait. You got to explain it correctly. This is the Antifa's rally.
Right.
Yeah, they're having a rally at the Grant Sawyer Building. They're going to protest whatever is bothering them that particular day. I believe it's time for us to show them that they're not in charge.
Right.
This is still America. We should, I strongly suggest some kind of counter rally. I don't want to say protest because we're not there to protest anything. We're there to show a support for our country,
Right.
and that these nihilist anarchists need to know that they cannot run roughshod over the public, because if they continue on the road they're on, pretty soon they're going to start, and I hate to sound like an alarmist, but they'll start coming into the neighborhoods and demanding things from private citizens.
Yeah.
Right now they're just protesting at government offices. How long before they go to a neighborhood and go, you guys live too good, you have too many cars,
Right.
you shouldn't have a pool, you got too much food in your fridge, there's poor people that need your stuff. It's only, if we don't show them that they need to be, we need to be the check and balance against this. So everybody out there, tell everybody. I know, and I can't help but notice that they plan for it on a Wednesday. I believe it's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
When the most of us are working.
Middle of the week,
Yeah.
from 11 a.m., which is most people in their offices working away, lunch or whatever. From 2 p.m. Which is right before people get off shift for most
Well, they
casinos.
picked this
or
particular
else.
time because they know there's going to be no one out there to counteract what they're doing.
But
because
for those who are going to be off or have free time or everything else, or somebody, this is the time to start marching against them.
at least show
peacefully.
up. At least show up
Peacefully.
and let them know that there is an
opposition.
We are the real resistance to their insanity.
Yeah.
So, send us a message. Let's all get together. Let's at least show up. We'll be respectful and keep our distance. But
Yeah, we'll probably be across the street.
Yeah.
We've already somewhat looked at it on, the other day, but we'll be across the
we
street.
have to do something. If we don't do something, they will continue to grow. They are like smoke in the wind. They need to be. As soon as there's some resistance, they will go away. Right now, the reason they have strength and courage is because there's no one resisting them.
Exactly. So we will be
They
there
are
definitely.
trying to overthrow our country. Sorry, they're trying to
No,
overthrow
go
our
ahead.
country. They are trying to. This is the physical aspect of the silent, bloodless coup that the Democrats have been waging in Washington. This is the manifestation of what they've been doing up there, and all their blocking Trump, all their resistance, their claims of Russian involvement. It's all horse apples.
Manure, yeah.
It's all BS. But what happens is it filters down to these morons, these anti-fascist anarchists who think they're doing godless work. They are the physical arm of this insanity in Washington, and they are going to continue to gain strength until they meet up with us patriotic Americans who say, no, you cannot change our country.
Right, exactly.
So we got to let them know that we're out here. Otherwise, they're just they think they have free reign.
I mean, just like the Black Lives Matter march a couple days ago, what was it, 8 arrested or whatever, but they're right in front of the Mirage stopping traffic.
That was a Venetian.
Venetian, Mirage, it's in between.
Marching out on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Right, exactly. People are, you saw the tweets, well, at least I did. People are trying to get to work, they're frustrated, they got things to do, working jobs, just like, and yet you got these scum who are living off the government and everything else, not working, just going out and pretty much stopping everybody else from working. And so there's going to be a turning point here pretty soon. I hope it doesn't happen. But you can feel the tension in the air. You can feel that we are coming, like I mentioned in the video yesterday that I made. you can feel the tension, you can feel the animosity towards one another just because of your political views, and then you even mention or say Trump to anybody, you know, it's like automatically you're getting preyed upon by everybody, and it's just a really sad thing to see, like I said. But at the same time, I'm not going to stand here and take their crap. I'm not. And so if they really try to start marching against my way of life, my way of thinking, and you know what many Americans have died for the pursuit of happiness in this country, well then I'm standing up against them, and that's why we're really going to hit it hard come June 14th, and around 11 a.m. we're going to be on the streets, starting documenting what's happening over there. So everybody on our channel and when we share it and stuff like that can see what's happening here in Las Vegas with these Antifa little punks. So expect us. That's all I can say.
All right, well, do you want to continue on to a couple more of our...
Well, we're coming up on a break, so I thought maybe... Do we have anything lighter than the end of the
I
free
do.
world?
I want to talk about the Trump's memorial thing that he did yesterday. Or the day before.
Yeah.
So we'll come back after a break and start hitting on some hopefully lighter things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We do have something, not we just pulled out a hat or anything, but we do have a couple articles left that we do want to discuss tonight, and that's going to be, first one is going to be, this one is awesome, by the way. So this one comes out Daily Wire, and it's also all over the publications and everything else. Basically, a headline states from Daily Wire: Trump sending so many gang members back, mostly MS-13, which is just a Mexican, a Salvadorian gang organization. Cartel, pretty much. That pretty much is running rampant through Southwest America, and now it's coming into eastern
they're having
states
a lot
and everything
of
else.
problems with it on Long Island.
Right, exactly. You know, they're because they want to establish themselves in
foothold in some areas.
right in back east. So, anyways, sending so many gang members back to El Salvador that officials in El Salvador are now panicking. He's sticking to his guns. I mean, this is great news.
Well, that's what my little outburst. When I read that, I thought that was hilarious. But this is the reason there has to be a wall built, and this is the reason the Central America and Mexico have not cooperated, because they knew this was going to happen. This is what it wasn't about, helping some poor farmer get across the border to a better life. It's to make sure that we don't send back the criminals.
Yeah.
You know, all these criminals that Trump talked about when he first announced his run for presidency. All the things that they said were hateful.
They said there was like 2 to like 6 million or something like that.
Well, if you're going to go to a country, let's say I decide I'm gonna move to just pick some foreign country illegally, Zimbabwe. Well, unless I'm got some cash in my pocket, I'm going to have to become a criminal.
Right, exactly.
That's the natural inclination. If you've already broken your way into a country, and these guys they're criminals to begin with.
Especially
They come from the cartel. So this is also part of border security. It's like locking your front door at night when you go to bed.
No, better yet, your car, because everybody needs a car to get everywhere, right? And so everybody's like, oh yeah, I lock my car. You know, it's a natural thing. It happens. It takes place. But
if you lock your car or your door, you're a racist.
Yeah, because exactly, I'm not letting everybody in. And that's the thing. Michael Moore was proposed with this question. Pretty much everybody who says that they don't want a border, has been proposed with this question. And of course, the answer is yes. I lock the doors and everything else, but letting the borders open, that's a whole different other subject. But it isn't. It goes hand in hand.
But the fact that Trump is sending, and this can't be the only country that's got to be feeling this hit. I mean, there's other criminals that have been returned to their countries of origin, and this is why they objected to all this security in the first place. They don't want them to come back because if I'm a criminal in El Salvador and I realize I can make more money in America, I'm going to go there.
Or have a better jail life in America.
Yeah, our jails here are like Club Med compared to the ones south of the border. I wouldn't go to Mexico just because last thing I want is a traffic ticket. I don't have to spend $1 million to get out of their prison. I'd spend it though.
3 meals a day,
cable TV,
a library,
gym time, yeah.
Gym. Oh, I mean, sometimes I don't know.
I mean, how many criminals do we see come out of prison in great shape?
A lot of them.
They should come out of prison disease-ridden and weak.
Yeah, exactly. No, but
then they have the best health care.
Yeah, they got health care. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just horrible, man. But this is a good article. I hope everybody's on the same page. That this is.
It's a good sign.
This is cartel members going back to their country where they came from.
Right, and the country that they came from is upset because
they
knew this was coming. They should have been prepared. They knew this was coming.
Well, they're getting all their convicts back. So.
But now, the Daily Wire is a great little site. I recommend it for everybody. It's run by Bill Shapiro.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, and we don't like to talk about competition, but we're so nowhere near him, we could talk about him. This guy is a very articulate speaker. I recommend everybody to go listen to his videos on YouTube. You'll learn a lot. He'll teach you how to argue with a liberal. He'll point out things that us regular people just don't see. He's a very clever, very smart man, and we need more like him. So I've been watching his videos. I'm very impressed with him, and it's great. So I'm just a cheap, flattering plug to somebody I'm probably never going to meet.
Well, you never say never. We never know. But some of the things that these people have done here in America, 95 were convicted of commercializing sexual offenses, 275 convicted of other sexual offensive, and 194 convicted of sexual assault. So
that's
these people.
What they've been charged with.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so what we caught.
Yeah,
the ones we were able to caught and prove.
Exactly. So these aren't the best people coming over here trying to make a better life for themselves. They want to make it.
Actually, they are trying to make a better life for themselves as criminals.
Yeah, as criminals, exactly. It's just really sad to see that instead of having to have a real job or something like that, they want to come over here and they want to make everybody else's life crap. So enough of the MS-13 thing. Now, a really heartfelt, warm story, I guess, is on Memorial Day. President Trump did something that the media won't really show, and I hope you guys can see this picture. I'm gonna try to pull it up for everybody. But it shows him. It shows him hugging a 6-year-old little boy. That's fine right there. A 6-year-old little boy who, dressed in a Marine Corps uniform, whose father's life has been taken away from him. And I don't think I've seen this on any real news publication outside of a couple of news articles. It won't be on mainstream media. But he really did his speech was phenomenal. You guys go check that out. I mean, it's just
And just look what he's doing. He's going to American cemeteries.
yeah, exactly.
Like Obama, what did he do like last Memorial Day? Or
Probably
last,
golf. He's probably golfing.
the last time he was during the Pearl Harbor anniversary.
Yeah, he went to Japan to
put a thing on there.
to put a reef around
In Hiroshima.
In Hiroshima, yeah, exactly. To feel sorry for the Japanese lives that were.
No, it goes back to what his whole
were
Obama's
lost.
whole philosophy is that America is bad and we should apologize for our greatness. He spent 8 years tearing us down. That's why the left and the Islam jihadists are in cahoots with each other, because it's all about tearing down our country.
Right.
Every little thing that they do. Trump, every little thing he does builds it back up. That's why they hate him. What he's doing right there, they find offensive.
Yeah, and you'll never see it. Maybe Fox played it. I'm not too sure. I haven't really.
I'm a pretty big news watcher. I haven't seen it anywhere.
Exactly. So I mean, the agenda's out, folks. Basically, anti-America is the new trend going on, and so we're here in defense of America and our way of life. And
We
it's
have
just,
a couple articles of the anti-America.
right, exactly. It's just really sad. So again, June 14th, we will be there, and tell your friends and family that hey, the stand's going to be there. Hopefully, you come out and take the stand for liberty, and show that strength of our numbers. That
Well, again,
we are there.
We have to let them know that they are not unopposed. They are not unopposed. We have been quiet. We believe in free speech and the right to assemble. They can protest peacefully, but they've shown, and the evidence is in, as far as I'm concerned, that the Antifa crowd, the anarchist crowd, they are not about peaceful protest.
No,
They are
not at all.
actively looking to overthrow our country.
We have 2 more articles. One of them is about them. So let's go ahead and move on to the Portland mayor article.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to need a Valium for this one, but yes.
So, Portland, as you know, is a very liberal city.
Yes.
So, the Portland mayor, I'll just come out with the headline that he has come out with. So he is trying to cancel alternate right groups from having get-togethers there.
Rallies, anything.
Whatever. So his thing is...
Well, at the base, my First Amendment.
Hold on.
Doesn't
So
matter.
he says
My right to assemble.
they're coming here to peddle hate speech, and that's his start. Hate speech, I guess, cancels your rallies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, well, they believe that if they don't
agree.
they don't agree with you, that
That's
cancels
hate
your
speech.
right to free speech. Even though the ACLU, even though I hate them, went out of their way to represent the Klan, so that and I oppose their speech too. The Klan is we all oppose them. They're just we all can agree on that, but they still have a right to speak.
Yeah.
You have a right to speak. Everyone does. I may find what Antifa says nauseating, but I have to let them say it
Un-American.
until they start doing something criminal.
Right.
So his exact words were, he was on a news conference on Monday. He said, "My concern is they're coming here to peddle a message of hatred and bigotry. They have a First Amendment right to speak, but hate speech is not protected."
Actually, hate speech is completely protected.
It is. As long as they're not calling
And
for
this is the mayor.
violence.
This is the mayor.
No, well,
of Portland.
that just proves that our school district has failed us very much,
Horrible.
because when someone can become mayor and be that illiterate.
Well, no, I think it's all. He's banking on the illiteracy of the people.
That's
not
true.
him.
He probably knows the difference. He's just assuming his
knows,
followers.
He knows the difference. He's banking on this quote unquote stupidity of the American people has like the.
You're probably absolutely right there. I probably shouldn't have assumed he was a retard.
Yeah. Just like how the architect of Obamacare said how this wouldn't have got passed if the American people were awake. Calling everybody dumb, and so this is the same thing that we're seeing here with this mayor. The followers of the Democratic Party. It's illiteracy on both sides of the wall, but it's just people need to start getting educated about what's going on in the world, what's happening with our own laws and everything. Just read the news once in a while, folks. I don't know what else to say, because you do have to keep yourself involved and educated in order to try to beat these people, because that's the only way we're going to get the upper hand and hopefully, change the narrative, not so much to where they're on our side, but at least open their eyes a little bit to say, hey, look, what the hell's going on, But we check out, I haven't really promoted the show at all. We'll get back to Lance's thing real quick. But we do have the shirts for sale up on our website. We have, I think, now 8 designs up for sale. So check out the site, stanstory.com. You can also, when you purchase the shirts during checkout, just type in, let me just try to get that promo code for you real quick. Just type in ZazzleGift50 and you'll get an additional 25% off at the store there. So again, that's just showing people, hey, you're taking a stand for liberty and you're supporting the broadcast. And
you'll be wearing the coolest T-shirt at the next barbecue.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll go ahead and get back to a little bit of what the mayor said, since that was earlier on today when he had that meeting. So now he has some more of his developments and comments. He has now said, I have reached out to all the victims and their families, including the 2 women who were terrorized and subjected to such hatred and bigotry. I have offered my unconditional assistance and support day or night. I think this was, he was talking about the
train stabbings.
Yeah,
Now, they claimed the train stabbings were caused by Trump's rhetoric.
Right.
However, what they failed to mention is the
speech.
guy who was wielding the knife and killed 2 Good Samaritans was a Bernie supporter. He claims it on his Facebook page, and Jill Stein. He is a left-wing kook. He was screaming something at some people, and people stepped in, and people died, and it was all because someone on the left, again, committed a crime.
He is trying to use that event to cancel these alt-right events.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's using this unfortunate act by someone on the left,
exactly.
by claiming it was the fault of the right, to shut down
our speech.
Free speech.
So
the conservative movement, the whole patriotic movement, they shut that down. Feel that we're still alone and everything else.
Well, he's shutting down these rallies or trying to revoke their permits.
Yeah.
So here's the next one. Is he said, I have confirmed that the city of Portland has not and will not issue any permits for the alt-right events scheduled on June 4th and June 10th. The federal government controls permitting for Shrunk Plaza, and it is my understanding that they have issued a permit for the event on the 4th.
But he's still going to try to revoke them.
He's going to try to revoke
So they haven't done it for the 10th, but he said that they've already given out the one on the 4th, but he wants to get it back. So he says, I'm calling on the federal government to immediately revoke the permit they have issued on the June 4th event and to not issue a permit for June 10th. Our city is in mourning. Our community's anger is real, and the timing and subject of these events can only exacerbate an already difficult situation.
Well, that's funny because I went on the Portland City website and looked up all the political events that are taking place just in the month of June, and there are dozens, and some of them are combating racism, eliminating white supremacy, acknowledging your white privilege. All these events seem to be okay.
Right, but when it comes to a conservative event or a rally or anything else, we get shut down instantaneous.
Because they consider what we say hate speech because they don't agree with it.
Right.
Now, I don't agree with dismantling your white privilege workshop or whatever it was.
Hate speech.
But go ahead and do it. Just don't tell me that it's not hateful, because I'm pretty sure if you're trying to dismantle somebody's white privilege, right there it sounds inherently racist because it's got race in it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you see what he's doing, he's manipulating the situation.
Oh, he's totally taking advantage of a crime committed by somebody to further his political views.
So, and then he spins it. So his next thing was he came out and said, I'm appealing to the organizers of the alt-right demonstrations to cancel the events because they're getting the permits. So now he's trying to go for the people that are starting them. He's trying to get them to cancel them. He says he urges them to ask their supporters to stay away from Portland. So don't even come in the city.
Yeah, don't even come to the city.
But I
And,
guarantee you, if this event goes off, that the Antifa people or the anarchists will show up, and there'll be violence.
Exactly.
And they'll
Pepper
blame the
spray,
conservatives.
rocks, blocks,
So
you know, you
If
name
they
it.
just
It'll be
stayed
there.
home and let the conservatives come out and have a little rally and clean up whatever they're doing when they're done, it'd be fine, but it won't.
and then he likes to end that paragraph with, "There's never a place for bigotry or hatred in our community, and especially not now."
Yeah.
But what about the
okay.
guy wielding the knife that was yelling things at the Muslim women who was a supporter of Bernie Sanders? That was okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. I'm having a tough time following
Well,
the,
you know-
Oh no,
the flow chart of this insanity.
No, it's quite easy. You know,
You know where his
what's up is
insanity
down.
is.
What's down is up.
So you know where his insanity is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
all over the place.
way to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where,
Well,
I
like,
think
like you
he's
said,
probably
you know,
laying on the
it's
side, you know.
it's bizarro world, you know, where up is down, down is up, and so you know, it's just really we gotta start banding together, folks. Really got it's now or never. You know, like I said, it's not calling for an act of violence. If they throw the first stone, then we're just going to respond to it. You know.
oh, just support each other.
And
That's how we're going to put it. You
Yeah,
just
that's
find
it.
your neighbors that are like-minded and be there for them. Let them know they're not alone and help support them. Watch each other's back, because if they're willing to do this publicly and in large groups, you know there's got to be some guys out there, they're lone wolves that will try some stuff.
Right.
And so we'll go ahead and let George
Oh,
go
yeah,
with
you saved the best one for me, didn't you?
the best one, the craziest article for the night.
I don't even know if I can say some of the stuff that's in here.
You just gotta beep it.
You gotta. Well, there's a video surfaced of students this past week at Evergreen State College yelling and ranting about everything from racist white teachers and white blank administrators to black power during a so-called meeting with the president, George Bridges, and other college administrators. I've seen the video. It spirals wildly out of control. These are the most racist people I've ever seen. They're all but calling for the death of white people. You know.
Well, what was one of the main comment is the headline of that one.
Well, one of the things that's bothering them is they demand that the video created for the day of absence and the day of presence that was
Yes.
stolen by white supremacists. Do they have name tags? How did they know?
because
and edited
they didn't follow what they said to
and
do.
it was edited to expose and ridicule the students and the staff by taken down by the administration. Sorry. Basically, if I understand what's happened, is that somebody got a video and showed the Black Power movement and the Black Lives Matter movement in a bad light, and they're upset.
Right.
You don't really need to edit that to make it look that way. I mean, I have yet to see one that makes them look in a good light, and where they're not handing out flowers at their rallies.
No, they're pulling people out of the cars, beating them, stopping traffic, impeding.
I suggest everyone go and look at these videos for yourself, draw
Yeah,
your own
watch 'em.
conclusion. Yeah, watch them. That's all you do. This information's out there. You just you don't even have to dig very far to find it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, the most the biggest thing for this article was one of the black people in this article or in the videos yells out that whiteness is the most violent
System ever.
blank system ever.
Yeah, the most violent effing system ever. Boy, that sounds awfully racist to me and quite threatening.
It is.
And he said this it's in like a cafeteria full of people.
Right, but
Right,
that's
like
not
the
hate
teachers,
speech. That's
like the
not hate
principal.
speech.
Right.
That's not hate speech. That's just his freedom of expression.
Yeah. And you can't impede on people's expression.
See, yeah, that look. I love it when I pose those questions to him because he's never quite sure if I'm serious or not.
Yeah. But anyways, it's just frustrating.
Like
folks.
I don't. What would you have done if you were in that room?
I've seen the video. I would slink out the back door as quietly as I can
Yeah.
because it did not look like it looked like a very hostile environment for people like me.
So would
Okay.
you exactly? So you escaping for their own good or yours?
No, for my own good, because You know, I didn't want them to. I didn't
This
want
is
them
out
to.
of college.
I didn't want them to sense my hatefulness.
Mm.
You know.
It's probably
For
very
being
good.
there because you're white. You have white privilege, George.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what? I've worked my whole life. I haven't felt any privilege whatsoever.
And that
Just
goes
as
for
long
the
as you
majority
are
of the
some.
people. I mean, we did a video last year when Bernie Sanders says white people don't know what it's like to be poor, and it's just
You know,
the
I get
lunacy.
I get so sick of that because for those of
Yeah.
you who may not know me, I grew up, and it's probably going to shock a few people. I grew up in a trailer park. I was poor. I'm still poor.
And you're not going to escape it. It seems like.
Yeah.
But that white privilege allowed you to be in that trailer park.
Yeah, there it is. That's exactly it.
You're going to have to really kind of elaborate on that because I don't quite get that one. But
Well, you just.
oh, you're going with the lunacy aspect of it. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
No,
I mean-
if I can only imagine how bad it would have been if I wasn't white.
Oh, look,
Where would I have been?
Americans all across the nation, whether you're white, brown, red, blue, whatever, I think we all experienced being poor at one point in time. You know,
Life's
it's just-
tough.
Life is tough.
It's
and-
just tougher when you're stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you don't have handouts and stuff like that, you actually have to work for things. You also get a great gratification. You know, that whole pride thing sort of kicks in. But I guess for these libertards and stuff like that, they don't really understand this whole concept of work, and I just
They do. They just don't want to do it.
well, that's exactly.
It's hard, all
They
right?
don't understand it, but
Who wants to wake up every day and have a set schedule?
I don't know.
It is
It's
tough.
just it's just really amazing to see what our society's become.
And who wants to take drug tests when you got to work?
Yeah, I know.
Well, you know
right?
what's the funny thing about this? And we start, I notice every time we do one of these little bits, at the end we start laughing because it's so absolutely insanely ludicrous.
You can't help but to laugh, folks. It's to the point now where it's either tensions are going to rise or
Well, they are rising. You're seeing them. They're fighting in courthouses.
more than what it is, and it's going to turn out to a all-out war in America, or it's going to be laughed at and hopefully dissipates.
I'm hoping there's some minor event that lets off the steam for a little while. Maybe we can regain our senses.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a peaceful person. I do not want any kind of conflict.
Right, I don't
but I
want
see
violence.
it going that way. I don't want it. This country is a great place to live. It's the best place to live in the world. Ask anybody who swims 90 miles from Cuba or rides in a container ship from China or crosses that hot-ass desert in Texas to get here. It's worth it.
It is.
But we are also a nation of laws
Mhm.
and rules. And that's what keeps us
Sane.
sane and keeps people
Keeps
civil.
safe. And
It's what
keeps us
keeps it
safe.
going. I mean, the anarchists want to break it down, and they want anarchy because in the chaos they can take control.
Right.
So our job is to not let them spread their chaos.
Right, exactly. So coming June 14th, 11 a.m., we're going to be out there.
The Grant Sawyer building.
Right, exactly. You can Google that, and I'm pretty sure give you directions how to get there. And tell your friends and family about it, because we need all patriots to head out there and basically do a Antifa march against them.
Let's just go out and all get to know each other. We don't
Right.
even have to talk to them.
Are you
We don't
gonna
have
be
to yell
wearing-
at them. We just all get together and show
Are you going to be
support.
wearing like flag shirts or?
Flat vest, did you say?
Flag vest? No.
Body armor?
No. We're going to be out there with our gear, our stand gear and stuff like that. So just look for us. You can't miss our faces. And so
You might want to. You might want to, but
So in order to purchase those shirts, you can go to standshow.com, go to the store. Zazzle, we're going through its third-party site right now until we get a lot more shirts built up and we can sell on our own. But Zazzle is giving a 25% off.
Zazzle.
That's going to be...
It's the funniest name, but I love it.
I know.
Zazzle.
Zazzle Give 50. So you enter that at checkout, and then you get 25% off the shirts. We do, like I said, we do have a couple of shirts up for sale right now. I
How
think
many now?
about eight designs.
There's some pretty cool designs. I'm a big graphics tee guy. I love shirts that say things.
And for the people that are asking, why aren't we wearing any right now?
Because we don't have them right now.
Because they're that new. They're so
Yeah.
new, even we don't have them.
Right.
But no, I love the designs. They're done really well. I've got a couple that I want to get, and
You don't want the collection?
Eventually.
It's going to be a build-up. But we have Home of the Free because of the Brave shirts. We have Don't Tread on Me. We also have the Price of Liberty shirt. So you just go on the site, pick a shirt that you like, and support us. When we see you on the 14th, June 14th.
Tell people out there what does Don't Tread on Me stand for? What is it for?
Well, one time I was approached because I have a large patch of it on my motorcycle vest, and someone told me they thought
also right behind us.
It's right here. It's basically it's the Gladstone flag. It was originally a naval flag. Basically, the best way to describe it is it's live and let live.
Yeah.
Do your thing and I'll leave you alone. I'll do my thing and leave me alone. But if you don't leave me alone, I'm gonna bite you.
Right.
That's what it represented. The rattlesnake was very big in colonial times. When they came over, it really influenced a lot of their pamphlets. Like Benjamin Franklin, he produced a pamphlet that had the snake chopped into 13 pieces, and each piece was a name of one of the colonies, and it said "Join or die." So basically, individually they could be taken down, but together they stood a chance.
Right.
So it's very historical. It's basically
It has history.
It has history. It's a live and let live, mind your own business and I'll mind mine kind of attitude.
Right.
There's a couple of versions of it. This is not an official version. I just found it. I liked it. So,
But the official version of our shirts is on the site sandshow.com. Zazzle, the code ZazzleGift50. Purchase a shirt, support us, support the broadcast, and support the Liberty movement. So just amazing stuff. And those designs are designed by me.
I didn't want to give you too many
I know.
compliments. See, it went straight to his head.
Bear.
Went straight to his head.
It is what it is.
I just said they were good. Now he's bragging.
I know, but they're that good, folks.
He wanted to take credit.
I
know.
did. I look. I worked hard for
A
it.
couple of them are pretty good. A couple of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
The one with
All
the
the
stand
songs.
right down the middle.
Yeah, all of them are pretty good. So again, take the stand for liberty. This is Shane Lance and George taking the stand. See you next week.